Warning. The following presentation may contain excessive alcohol consumption, obscene language, controversial opinions, heavy metal, and actual wrestling chat. As such, it has been rated M for metal.
Welcome to the Mosh Pit. I consent. Oh, and are we still doing that? I consent.
No, I mean, right now.
No, leave it. Nothing gets edited. Leave it all in.
No. Welcome to the latest edition of Mickey's Mosh Pit. I'm your host as usual, Mickey Vago. Fans rejoice as this week we've got a Martinless episode.
I was away. I was betting with myself how long it would take before you mentioned. By the way, Martin is not on this one.
Yeah,
Whether it would be, presented as a negative thing or positive thing. For me, like Martin's like I like my music. Martin fucking, I mean, he really gets into it, and
Yeah.
in a way that I can't, nor have I got the time to. God bless him. But just like random trivia and stuff, it's like it's just got like a hell of a brain on him. But if you hear heavy breathing, it's not us. It's Vago's laptop struggling to exist.
It's slowly dying.
It's slowly dying. And in addition to that, I hope it does hold out, because Vago's just told me he's made 5 pages of notes on this particular episode, which is incredible.
So like as I mentioned his name, Martin, I should mention that joined this week. My co-host this week is Scotty Swift.
It doesn't matter. It's fine.
So as you mentioned, the computer is dying. So hopefully it lasts. And this week I have done some actual serious research.
Yeah. It's almost like you're like a proper podcaster now.
Almost. Masquerading is the word you're looking for there.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, and generally, like, there's quite a few I go back to, but all my experience of listening to podcasts never has the host passed out during it. So this one is still number one in my heart.
Yeah.
So what are we? If people have somehow clicked on this and not looked at the title, tell them what we're doing.
So this episode we've titled Lars versus Napster. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look back at the. I mean, there's probably I say younger listeners. I don't think there's any younger than fucking like 35 listening to this bish.
That's being generous, but okay.
Napster was a big thing for a couple of years, and obviously it kind of exploded as quickly as it appeared.
It's weird because it's almost like, I mean, like it feels like time's a funny thing, because like like the time. Let's say you're talking about in 1980, like in 1980 feels like such a long time ago, because like when you get to the millennium, it's like, and now with 2025 and like Napster finished up. Well, I mean, it kept going in some form, as we might get into it, but
essentially it's a 2-year run.
Yeah, it was like maybe a 2 or 3 year run, and that was like 23 years ago, and it's like. And it's still, and because it's still within the 2000s, it feels like it wasn't. But no, we're talking like a generation has passed where the technology has moved so quickly that what people take for granted now, we didn't have when Napster started.
Yeah.
But it was the start of it. So even getting a sliver of it, mate, our minds were. For anyone listening, our old people minds now, our minds were fucking blown. It's like, what you mean? Like we can like download music. And this is like a generation where you didn't have like super fast internet connection. So I don't know if you did this. I'm not actually no. I'm sure you did do this. Just like leaving it overnight, hoping that it would somehow download, and then you would. I had times I was downloading Rage and Speedhorn albums, right? And you think about how much
I mean,
people, you know,
downloading
like,
albums is just mind blowing on fucking dial-up internet.
yeah, and
Just like never like no tracks, albums. Just
yeah, and sitting with it running for a week, and finally the voice in my head says, "You need to accept it's just not happening,
Aye.
Scott. You just have to leave it alone." It's like, you know what, you might just have to physically go into a shop and buy the
Pay
CD.
money.
But the idea of it all being there, it's like I had trouble. I don't know if you agree with this, but I had trouble dealing with it. You know, like sensory overload. You know, it's
Too,
too much.
too much.
Let's say you budget yourself for 15 quid and you go to HMV to buy an album. I can
Yeah.
handle that. But then when you say, you can download like any music you want, that's too much. It's too much choice.
So
And,
if we go like before, like if we to go pre-Napster, so you're just talking like the 90s are like that's like fucking peak CD fucking period. That's that's where you're getting your music. You have to go down to the fucking over here it was like HMV and Virgin. Doing and pay your 15 quid for your album. So that I looked at it like right new albums in like the 90s, like mid 90s, regularly they're hitting like 7, 8, 9 million copies of sales right out the gate. Now I looked this up. So the biggest selling album in 1995 was Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
I quite believe that. Yeah.
It was on its first year of sales, it sold 12 million copies.
Okay.
Like it's sitting at something like 33 million now. Equivalent, you take like Taylor Swift is arguably the biggest pop star right now. Just say. So she had an album in 2024. It sold. It's 7 million sales. Only 3.5 million of that was pure sales. That's like physical copies. 3.5 physical copies and a year of sales. Like Jay, like if nowadays Spotify takes into account like download, like so much downloads counts as an album or whatever it is, or streams counts as an album. So it's something ridiculous like fucking 60 odd fucking million or something now.
Yeah.
But 3.5 million of those are pure sales, just physical copies, whether it's vinyl or CD or.
That's crazy. It's and then you could get into the argument who is truly the most popular.
Yeah.
Because and this isn't the fault. And it's not like a versus like like Morissette versus Swift. It isn't like a competition. It's just because the climate's different.
Yeah.
But the people now, because we live in an era of convenience.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't. I don't think it necessarily means that it's like a higher proportion of people cared about the artist when they had to go out and physically buy it versus they have the capability to play it and it's sitting in their pocket and it's on their phone.
I think
of course to it, you know what I mean? It's like the difference.
There was one of these we did. Was it the Metallica one maybe? I mean, Caleb was on, and Caleb said, "Oh, I just like Spotify has just killed albums for me." It was somewhere along them lines. And it's like nobody listens to an album these days. Like now, back then, if you liked a track on an album, you had to go and buy. Unless it was a single, you had to go and buy the album. Naked and what else was on the album? Usually,
I did that.
And the amount of times you dropped £50 on an album on the strength of one track, and the rest of it was just shite.
I did that way too many times. I would drop 12, 15 quid on an album. You know, like something like Godsmack.
Aye.
And it'd be one song you heard of.
You saw it on MTV, and I was like, "That's good. I'll buy that."
Yeah, and like Godsmack were shite until recently. They did an album, and it's like this is Godsmack. It's quite good. What the fuck happened? Sorry if any Godsmack fans out there. I'm really sorry. I'm not going to fight you over it. I don't care that much. But you're right, and it's just and it's not the fault of anyone. It's just, and Caleb's right. I mean, a rare appearance from Caleb is that's like gold dust now. But he's right because I'm guilty of that too as well. A part of it is because I just don't have the space to also collect CDs. I've got enough things going on. There's like I
Yeah.
had to, I had to make a choice, and it's like okay, I don't have space, but I've got Spotify,
I
and
I
Spotify won just through pure
yeah.
logistics.
I thought about it. I genuinely didn't think I bought a CD since 2015.
God,
The
I think I'm what.
the very last Motorhead album that I am sure that is the last CD I ever bought.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm. It's maybe 10 years for me as well.
I kind of think anything else. It's also like, and obviously like we're shooting Napster, coming about end of the 90s, so I was like 15, 16 at that point. So I was just coming into getting a part-time job and having money to buy. So
Mhm,
I've still got like five, six fucking boxes worth of CDs getting out somewhere up in a loft.
mhm. Yeah.
And it's like, but that genuinely, I think I bought one since for about 10 years now.
Mhm.
Just with the rise of Spotify and just, but
And I know there's people, and there's people now. I mean, like now we're getting. I mean, obviously with like cassette tapes, so people who don't know they don't know what a cassette tape is.
yeah,
And me and you are getting how could you not know that? But they weren't there
yeah,
because there's now a generation of people, excuse me, who have only grown up in a world where online was the only way, or on their phone was the only way that they actually consume music. They never
yeah,
had another way because they've only been alive during the period where that was the most popular way to do it. Obviously, vinyls came back,
yeah.
yeah, and I'm
But
staying away from that because I would, I just can't fucking do it. I've got to like, I do my Blu-rays, I do my Ghostbusters. I'll cherry pick wrestling stuff. If someone comes out of that, like I don't collect wrestling figures, or they're doing a Todd Pettingill. Well, I have to have that because it's Todd Pettingill, and that's just a stupid figure to have, but I'm having it. Um, but it's just there's people who don't know what a CD is, and don't know what a tape is,
yeah,
and the thing I was speaking about, like MP3 players. Remember when an MP3 player had like the space for 30 songs?
aye.
and and and
Mental.
and we were happy. We were happy with it because it meant not having to lug around your Walkman and like change CDs.
Aye.
Remember, you said, remember,
Skipping.
yeah, remember actually trekking about the place wherever you're going to, listening to music and using a Walkman. And I used to have like,
That's
because
why we all wore massive jeans.
yeah, and because of my fucking autism, I was like, which CD will I bring? So I couldn't pick. So there'd be like 10. I took 10 with me. I'm going in the bus at the time, Vigo, and I've got 10 CDs. Oh no, am I going to get Metallica, Offspring, Strapping Young Lad, Fear Factory, Pantera, Maiden, Megadeth? I'll take them all. I'll just take them all. It's fine. I'm not going to get through that. I'm only out the house for an hour and a half.
It's just mental.
But we just have to make these decisions of what we're going to listen to while we're on the move. And now there's services that probably, let's be honest, probably wouldn't be around if it wasn't for Napster.
Yeah,
So people think it's a positive thing or a negative thing, is really irrelevant. We and the people who were against Napster didn't understand the technology because they had nothing to compare it to, and they couldn't have foreseen fast
yeah,
forward 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And even like when Napster went down, like LimeWire, because I was using that, like my PC must have been riddled with like
aye.
viruses. Honestly, it just riddled. No wonder it didn't work, you know. And let's say like leaving it overnight because the system with a LimeWire or a Kazaa was different to Napster because it wasn't like person to person. It was like downloading from numerous sources.
Yeah,
So, like you try and download like Metallica, the Black Album. Oh, you boom. Like I said, if I try and get Raging Speedhorn and there's like one person's got it up,
ah,
and one person's seeding it, and I'm sitting there, and then like halfway through the download, they
aye,
fucking disappear.
they
They've
cancel
like
it or
and then I've got zero series, and I'm sitting for days. Like you just have to let it go. And I used to get obsessed with it. I was obsessed with this, like, oh, you know, and not having the great internet that we have now.
Yeah,
So like, and again, I know you've titled this like Lars versus Napster,
yeah,
but you can say Metallica versus Napster,
yeah,
but like Lars was the guy who said, "Fuck it, like I'll take the bullet. I'll
yeah.
be no, I'll be the face."
But
And
there's a lot we can get
yeah,
through before we get to that part. So obviously we were speaking about CDs. So like early mid 90s, MP3s are invented.
mm,
Um, so essentially, fucking, if you rip a CD file to just a computer, just a straight CD file, I don't know what they would have been called, but they were fucking massive. So
mm,
this MP3s compressed them to it was smaller, easier to transmit. And obviously, if you're and before pre-Napster, essentially you were doing it by email, which was a
yeah,
fucking. I don't know if you ever tried that, sending an MP3 by email. It was I did it once, and I was
I
like, this is far too complicated and
I
far too fucking long.
I did, but it was much later on, and also people send me um stuff, like someone would hear, yeah, like someone who had because I didn't have internet, my own internet till like 2005, so I
Aye,
was leeching off other people in libraries and stuff. And so occasionally someone was like, "Oh no, have you heard this one? No, I haven't. Oh, I'll send you in an email." So we're at that time period where like it worked okay, but I can imagine back then it would have been an absolute
yeah,
ball ache.
just aye,
Yeah,
fucking nightmare. So
yeah.
yeah, so uh, so Napster is founded by two guys, Sean Fanning and Sean Parker. So
Mhm.
Sean Fanning, he's got this big fucking vision where he's got this system of fucking streamlining file sending because it's far too inefficient to send them by email. So
Mhm.
he's trying to figure out a way where he can combine a search engine with a peer-to-peer sharing platform. Now he pitched this to one of his pals at the time, and his pal was like, "So you're just gone, you're gonna rip MP3s to one hard drive, like link it up with another hard drive, and we were saying like, and he thought this could like imagine pitching that today. Like I'm gonna hook my hard drive up to your hard drive. Imagine like all the security fucking questions we have to go through and fucking websites and shit. I'll just hook my hard drive up to your hard drive. It's fine. Don't worry
That's
about
the thing,
it.
because
Mental.
back then, I mean, like, if something hadn't been done before, and again, I know we'll get into like, the argument was how do you regulate it, how do you control it, but there was no control and regulation to be had
Aye.
because no one had done it before.
It
Like
was the Wild
every
West.
yeah, the Wild West, every great idea, every breakthrough starts with the Wild West. Because and it's going to start with people either say, that's a great idea, then you get someone who looks at you like you got two heads, like, well, that's never going to work. And like we take this all for granted now. So the people listening now, going, it's like, well, like but you don't know what it was like back then. We didn't have fucking all this shit that we have now. That we just again, it's in our pockets, it's on our phone. We didn't have any of it.
Yeah,
So at this point, it's like may as well be speaking Japanese algebra or something.
mental. So like I said, he moves in with his uncle who runs like an online chess fucking website or some shit.
Yeah, I was listening to some. It's like you that it was quite a lot of things that I didn't know about either.
So
It's quite
there
interesting.
was always folk in his uncle's house that were like or on chat rooms through his uncle's
Mhm,
business were trying to teach him like coding and shit, how to work this
mhm.
shit. So he eventually gets guys in to build this essentially like a search engine. He manages to figure it out. So this thing there was a description which it was in Kerrang, I think. I found it. It was on Kerrang for an article with it. So this is how they describe it. It's a glorified file browser which uses a stripped back interface to grant access to MP3 files on interlinked machines.
Mhm.
So essentially, it's a centralized database that indexes a complete list of all the songs being shared on all the connected computers, pretty much. So
Yeah,
you've got all these computers that and are linked through one central server type thing.
it's like it's it is a clever system because it cuts down. You said about like nowadays you'd have all these like security questions.
Aye.
This just eliminates any in between. It's just literally like hard drive to hard drive and just bouncing back and
Yeah.
forth with these songs. And there's no chaff or fucking about in the middle. I mean, it's a beautiful thing when you really stop to think about it, especially we go like the 90s where we had nothing like that.
Yeah. It's like essentially the closest we've got to that is tape trading and burning CDs. That's the closest thing
And
we
again,
had
like,
up to that point.
and we can talk about tape trading in connection to all this too as well, which was a sticking point and quite
Yeah.
controversial. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to
So
it.
anyway, so he gets this thing up and running. So eventually they manage to get investment for it and get this. So it goes live on June 1st, 1999.
Mhm.
So I just turned 15 at that point.
It
So
was
this,
like I mean, like if you're 15, I would have been 18, and
so this is this that
again,
I'm 15. So this is before me getting like a part-time job. So here's this free music I can do.
oh, it's incredible. No, it's incredible. I mean, like I was aware of Napster at the time, but because I didn't have my own PC and my own like internet connection, it was very
Aye.
much like living vicariously through people that I knew who did, or just hearing about it because it was a big. It no, because obviously it became a big deal. And even if like you're having you have passive interest in metal or passive interest in like Metallica, there's enough going about that like you were aware of what the fuck Napster
Aye.
was and what shitstorm it was creating.
Yeah. Basically, it was launched and it just went fucking viral. It just exploded. Like everybody
No, I
fucking
mean
had
like
it.
what I mean the numbers. At one point that was about 80 million users at one point.
That's the
70,
number I
80
found. Like
million.
at its peak, it was 80 million plus.
Yeah, that's hard too. Which is a hell of a lot of people in any part of history. But at that time, that is
Yeah.
a hell of a lot of
Aye.
fucking
This
people.
is
That's
when
like wild.
like fucking yeah, and like was new. Laptops were a thing, but it was mostly just these big fucking huge massive computers. The
Mm.
fucking getting the big fucking tower things, and literally they were about
Oh yeah,
$2,000 to buy. They were fucking expensive
yeah,
as fuck.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like so. How much people like? I mean, we had one like this, and I think we got one off of one of my dad's pals. Like it was the second hand, so it worked. It worked better than this fucking laptop. Look at that.
I don't think that's much of a compliment at this stage, but
I know. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, it just fucking exploded. Um, Now, obviously, there's a few issues with this. Mainly the copyright shit. So it's
yes.
essentially. So I looked briefly into this about the copyright stuff. So essentially, although from what I can gather, essentially what the guy Fanning was trying to do was create like a proto Spotify. So he was trying to make a paid service. Just the way he went about it was the ideal. So essentially, if he was to set it up first and then try and engage with the labels to force
See,
them to
that's
speak with
just
digital
again
distribution.
here. I mean, here's the thing: is like, I mean, do you ask for permission? Like, no, you ask for permission, and the guys are going to assume that most people will say no, and his idea is dead.
Yeah,
Or do you ask for forgiveness and hope that they give it to you?
yeah.
That's basically the path he took.
Well, he's gone on the
And
basis that I've got the users and I've got the platform. Give me the music.
yeah, the thing, and then you can say, look, I have X amount of people using it. I could charge them this. You will also make money off
Yeah.
this, But and again, like these are, I mean, like to like a business executive, initially they're gonna think, who are these two punk kids in there, like down the stairs in the basement, hammering away? It's just that perception of like, who
Aye.
the fuck are you? No, who the fuck are you to be doing this? Taking our music.
I think half the problem is that a lot of these fucking music label executives, they'll be like older guys and they won't understand fucking any of this.
No.
Again,
A
they're
lot of them
still
still won't.
they're still sitting with the fucking the infodex thing on the fucking desk.
Yeah. The thing, but unfortunately, a lot of those people get left behind because if
Yeah.
you can't adapt, you will get left behind.
So like I said, I was about the copyright. So in the US, I don't know about here, but in the US, copyright it's in the Constitution. It's one of the amendments or something.
Yeah.
But secondary liability isn't it? Which is what
Okay.
they were trying to defend themselves on. It's like, well,
It's almost a loophole, kind of using the wording to their advantage.
yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so we've got the recording industry artists of America. So it's essentially this group that I would say union, but it's this group of like music labels. It's a group of them. So they get wind of this, and obviously they're like, oh, hold on a minute, we're losing money here. So there's a lawsuit. So they file a lawsuit. So it's launched June 1st, 1999. RIAA launch a lawsuit in early December. So literally in less than 6 months, and they're on it, and I was like, we'll shut these guys down. Now there was, like I said, we were speaking about secondary liability. So there was a case, obviously with VCRs. They tried to argue the same case. There was a case in
Yeah, I heard about this.
83. So it was Sony versus Universal. So Sony obviously were
Yeah.
making VCRs, and Universal was like, well, hold on a minute, that's infringing copyright. Now the outcome of that was it was what they called time shifting.
Yeah, time shifting. That's what I was
So
hearing.
it's like you're
So
recording
it's like
it.
you're just watching it. You're going to watch it, but you're just watching it at a different time.
You
But
might
like,
you might record something at 7 o'clock and watch it at 9 o'clock instead.
yeah, exactly.
However, there was also the RIA that tried to stop MP3 players being a thing, or they tried to stop device to device downloads.
Okay.
So you could put stuff on the player, but then you could take that player and transfer it onto another computer. Is what they were trying to stop. So like again, it'd be like secondary liability.
There was also like a deal where it's like if you were listening to it at home, but it was a great area. Like if you were listening to an MP3 player, then you could take it with you wherever you wanted.
Well,
So it's like home use versus being able to transport it. It's just fucking wild.
So that again that they didn't win that case either, because the judge ruled that like VCR players was time shifting, MP3 players is space shifting.
Yeah.
So essentially, you still own the original recorder. So like you bought the CD, or you should have bought the CD. Is what they're implying. You've put it on your computer onto your MP3 player. Now you can take that to wherever you're going. So that's space shifting. So yeah, so they lost that case as well. So this is a lot of this is what kind of comes into play on Napster's defense when they eventually get to court. Now the other thing with Napster is obviously record labels. A lot of the time they're choosing who they want to be big. Like they'll put their money behind they've got this big hype machine. They'll pay off radio stations to play the music and whatever.
Oh, of course.
So they want you to buy certain albums. Napster kind of takes away for this because now you can go and listen to a whole album for free, and you can it's the same with critics. Like a lot of folk will read reviews and they'll buy a CD based on that review. Now they can just go listen to it and decide themselves if they want to get it or not.
Yeah. And like if companies have decided like this is the next big thing, this is the next big band, recording artist, whatever, and then like and sales come in like
Yeah.
like 50% less of what they'd originally projected, they're going to look at Napster and be like, "Hey, come on, guys,
So
we
so
need
as
to run a
well
business here."
as well as the money that they're losing, they're looking at this like, oh, hold on a minute, we're gonna lose power here as well as losing
Yeah,
money.
I love it.
So it's like,
Power in control. In control comes up a lot as well.
yeah,
Talking about the person that the person or group, whatever you want
yeah.
to bill it as. Yeah.
So, like I said, early December, this lawsuit's filed. February 2000, Hillary Rosen, she's the head of this RIA. So she calls a meeting with these members who I didn't think a lot of them really know what's going on at this point. So basically, she's got one guy in a corner on a laptop. So he opens the laptop, opens up Napster, like less than a minute, he's got a fucking account. And now she's hearing the record heads shout names of songs that they didn't think will be on there. She's like, stuff it's. So the Grammys at this point was like a week before or something, a week before this meeting. So they're shouting stuff that was on the Grammys, like stuff that had totally been released 2 days, stuff that were due to be released, and it's all on Napster. It's all been leaked.
Yeah.
So at this point, there's no real media coverage of this because essentially it's just suits versus suits. Nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
So what we need is a big name to come into this. So here's where we get a big name.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what we're here for.
Yeah. Again, like I think it's important to note, like he wasn't the only person representing a band who was against what was happening. He just happened to be the one who was vocal, because a lot of people were scared about hurting their sales, hurting their reputation.
Yeah.
The big one's Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre didn't want, and
well, that was the other one. Dr. Dre, I think he had the same. I don't know if it was the same management but essentially he filed a lawsuit the same time as Metallica after he'd written to Napster to formally ask them to take all his music off of there, and obviously they said, "Nah, fuck you, it's staying up." But yeah,
what I thought was like instead of just coming for them legally, he actually did ask first, which I thought was quite. I actually thought was actually quite decent of him. He could have just went, "Okay, I'm going to legally come after you and not give you any warning." He said, "Could you please?"
Aye, go and take it down.
Before it kicks off, can you maybe just help me out? Yeah.
Aye.
That's actually quite reasonable when you think about it. Yeah, it's like, could you please take off? No, we're not doing it. Okay, well, fuck you then. I'm going to sue you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously Metallica, they've recorded this song "I Disappear" for the Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack.
Yep.
Um,
Heavily rotated on MTV. I saw it video so much fucking times. I like "I Disappear" and I like the video, but it was like everybody's like, "Oh, we're playing this again." I went, "Okay."
That might have been one of the first ones I actually downloaded on Napster.
Man, it's weird. It's like I probably didn't download that song, but it was almost like in our group chat, hashtag "I disappear.mp3." It was a thing. And also the fact that "I Disappear," the version that it still had to be mixed or finished. It was just like not only had it leaked, but it leaked before it was completed.
It sounds like a demo version,
which makes it even worse. It's like, oh, okay.
So it gets back to Metallica that there's 20 plus radio stations playing this song. It's not even been released yet. It's not even been finished yet at this point.
That was the thing that I thought was really like, okay, a couple of guys are creating Napster, they're sharing music, maybe long term they're looking to make it legal. But the fact that 20 radio stations just took it, I thought that was really fucking shitty.
Aye.
Didn't you think that's really like, no, what are you doing? Because it just felt a bit like.
And I'm assuming it must have been like
it was unprofessional.
It must be fairly big radio station before Metallica heard about it. Like it's not this just random fucking boy in the sticks.
Yeah, like before we got cut off because Vago won't pay for Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still
like
waiting sponsorships.
still waiting for sponsorships. I don't think it's necessarily like it was just because it was like big radio stations. I think it was because it was. I mean, like 20 is quite a. It's not a huge amount, but it's like, well, hold on a second. The song isn't finished, and 20 stations are playing it.
Aye.
We should probably they should probably look into this. Yeah,
So
it's
yes.
crazy.
So like I said, they look into it and they find that the source is Napster. So so Metallica, they file a lawsuit in April 2000 as well. Um, so their lawsuit centers around, and this is the quote that is given: copyright infringement and racketeering. Now I had to look up for I had a vague idea because usually
Yeah,
it's usually just thinking about like gangsters and shit.
yeah. No, the racketeering feels like a very old fashioned term.
But essentially it's just aiding and abetting thieving. That's all it is, which is exactly what Napster are doing.
Yeah, yeah. It's true. It's true.
So so they're suing for 10 million in damages
Hmm.
because they've so they monitor Napster for a 48-hour period and they found over 300,000 users making over 1.4 million downloads just the Metallica stuff. Just the
Yeah,
Metallica stuff.
I heard that figure. I mean, I'm sure like it wasn't like the most downloaded artist, but in terms of like of that genre, they probably were the
Aye.
number one.
You think if that's 1.5 million downloads at just Metallica stuff for 2 days,
Mhm.
like how
Yeah,
much of that stuff was being downloaded at the same time?
yeah, like really popular mainstream artists would have been in tens of millions
Aye.
of downloads,
Mental.
easy. Um, yeah, I racketeering.
Correct, Kieran. That's what they're up to.
Because really racketeering makes it seem when I because I'll listen to the podcast about it too, and when racketeering came up, it made it feel like it was more severe than it actually was. Because
Yeah.
like I was like I can't remember the last time I heard anyone use the word racketeering
Yeah.
apart from watching gangster movies
Yeah.
that were based in the 1950s or
Aye.
something. You know,
Like proper mob movies.
it was like watching Untouchables again. It was like, well, hold on a second, racketeering. Like, okay, but yeah, going by that definition, it's
Yeah.
correct.
However, I also found out during research, this wasn't the only lawsuit that Metallica filed this year.
Oh, I see. Okay, no, what was it? No, just refresh my memory. What was it again?
So they also sued Victoria's Secrets
Oh, it was a makeup thing, wasn't it?
over a line of lipsticks called Metallica.
Yeah, yeah. I remember. I'm sure. I don't know. Maybe if I saw it after the fact or saw it before, then heard it. But flicking through a magazine and seeing Metallica and thinking, can they do that?
Yeah.
Can they
Apparently
do
no,
that?
they cannot.
Apparently they cannot. So if you were thinking about changing the name of the podcast of that, don't because we'll get sued.
Yeah. Um, so and the lawsuit that they've filed against Napster. It's not just Napster being named. Like obviously we always hear this thing where they're suing their own fucking fans.
See, that was a narrative. That was
But
a narrative.
so they did have 300,000 users Metallica banned who've
Yeah.
been either sharing or downloading Metallica songs.
Mhm.
The RIAA tried to sue some of the fans.
Right.
But Metallica just banned them. However, there was also 4 universities named in the lawsuit,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I think they settled quite quick, or it was dropped when they just banned Napster on like campuses and anything on like their computers or servers,
Mhm.
whatever it is. They banned us, so they were very quickly dropped. But yeah, but at this point, Metallica's just no fucking about. It's like we're not hearing this.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
but
think that was the problem was the way it was reported, the way people just cherry picked bits of information, regardless of what you think of Lars. I mean, Lars is quite a like he's Lars.
Yeah.
He's a very, either you love him or you hate him, or and it's coming out and it's, oh, I can't believe they're suing their fans. So that wasn't true, but it made a handy narrative for people who wanted to give them aggro,
Aye.
who wanted to have a reason to not like them, because whenever, again, this goes back to because I'm sure we spoke about this before, the whole argument, no, they haven't been good since '88, no, they're not thrash anymore. They sold out. They weren't the same since after Cliff died, you know, and it became like an easy thing for people to jump on. And then all it
Aye.
takes is for people to say something enough, it then becomes fact, and people
Yeah.
don't look at them. Well, no, they actually didn't sue it, their fans. Other people did that. No, they had a list of people, but they didn't fucking. Again, it's like with the camp. Was it the camp chaos? Flash animations. Remember those?
Yes.
You know, and like, I watched them again this week. You know what? They're fucking funny as fuck,
Yeah.
man. And like, there's plenty. You look at because some of them have been online for 18 years and they're still going. And you look at the comments, and it's like a lot of the comments are people saying, "This is fucking hilarious," and I love Metallica. And I'm like, yeah, they're funny. Just they were depicting James as lumbering Hulk, and Lars is like this wee little midget. And at one point, he's literally just like spider walking across the screen, and he just can't stay still. It's like he's off his face on coke, and he's just constantly going off in one, and it's genuinely fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's like, and obviously that was very tongue in cheek, but those videos were born out of the sentiment of people saying, "I can't believe they're suing their fans."
Aye.
That's where those animations came from.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, yeah, you also mentioned the fucking Lars's big binder. So it turns up at Napster headquarters with a couple of lawyers and a 60,000 page binder of all the
It's so
users who'd
funny.
been
Didn't he like,
distributing ballads
no?
music.
Didn't he have him in a dump truck and
A
just
dump truck,
dumped
yeah,
him?
just dumped them in the front, but I don't know, front lawn or just the front of the offices.
Yeah, it was like on Napster, and they just dumped it out in the front, and it's like, here it is. It's like, that's such a fucking baller move. It's like, okay. I mean, it's such a statement of like, yeah, no, we mean business. And by the way, it's in your fucking front. It's right in front of your building. It's like, and we're serious.
Yeah. And I don't know if this was before or after the 2000 VMAs, but the guy who founded
Yeah,
Napster, he did a bit
yeah,
at
he did.
the VMAs wearing a Metallica t-shirt, walked on and
Yeah,
like For Whom the Bell Tolls was on. And obviously it's a scripted bit, whatever it is, and the guy asked him where he got his t-shirt from. He says, "I borrowed it from a friend."
yeah.
Like, while Metallica sitting there just hating to take it.
Very good, very good,
Yeah.
very good.
Um, so yeah. So I don't know, like I said, like the stuff with like you see, there's also all YouTube and Lars is up in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee reading his statement, and he's like, "Oh, it's essentially like a fan can just you can just walk in to a record store, pick up whatever albums you want, and just walk out." It's like, it's not really the same, Lars, but okay.
It isn't, because it's the debate of having something physical in your hands versus something that's digital.
Yeah,
You know, um, so it
like I said,
isn't the same, but no, because this technology, or this way of acquiring music was such a new thing, his reaction to it was very, very strong.
yeah,
Not knowing where we were heading, how we would how this, like, obviously not this exact way, but like consuming music digitally became normal.
yeah.
It wasn't normal, so I think it's important to like I add context to it. Yes, that seems like a very blanket statement to make, but it was a reaction of a time period where this was not fucking normal.
Yeah, I think it's the
You
same.
know?
Like it's the same kind of thing what we mentioned with the record execs. I think it's just a case of they don't really understand it, It's like they see money being taken in their pockets, like, now we're put a stop to this. We'll stamp this you right. I think it's just this similar kind of thing.
And it's a big, and it was a big scary thing. You know, like this wasn't normal. This wasn't standard. It was this whole new thing. And like you said, people in high places have been doing things a certain way for a long, long time because that's what worked. And unfortunately, you know, those things that work aren't always necessarily work for a long time. You know, if you get comfortable, I'm not saying that people are getting comfortable, but it's like if you can't see that, like, oh, the world's going to change, then they are going to fight it until eventually you can't fight change that's going to be inevitable, because it was going to be inevitable. Like, and it wouldn't necessarily be Napster who would continue on and be successful, but it was Napster who absolutely put the thought in people's heads that this is possible and this could work.
Yeah. So like we mentioned before, like it wasn't all everybody against Napster. There was a lot of pro Napster fucking folk kicking about. Like Moby, Henry Rollins, Chuck D, Public Enemy was a big one. I noticed that there's a lot of interviews with him online. I've seen. One thing, Limp Bizkit and Cypress Hill went on a 23-date Napster sponsored tour where every concert was free.
Right, that's mental. That's mental.
Like
there you go. Sorry,
I don't know what Cypress Hill were paid. Apparently, Limp Bizkit were paid $1.8 million to do that tour. And so this is a tour where they're not making any money. Like Napster's like it's a Napster sponsored tour, so like if it's free, a free fucking concert.
Yeah.
Like nobody's making any money off of it. Like I'm assuming there's merch sales and shit, but
yeah.
Essentially, nobody's making any money off of that.
Doing it because I mean, like I don't. It was something like in the early days of Napster, they got it's like a $15 million investment.
50 is what I saw. 50
Is
million.
it 50? I heard
million.
50. Maybe I misheard it then. No, 50 sounds more logical if they felt they were in a position to do this free tour.
Like
for 23 days.
At the peak, it was like billions of dollars, and I don't know how it was worth billion because I don't know how the fuck they were making money off it. Like there must have been fucking pop-ups or something. There must have been some sort of ads or something on it, but they were making money off it.
Must have been because I mean, they had so much traffic, so much people were using it. People would have obviously seen, okay, we've got 80 million users. Oh, can we advertise on it? Of course you can. I mean, that's like, especially if your demographic, if we know you can hit the demographic, and it's worth it, then they could absolutely sell advertising on it. Easy.
So
also, it was Dave Grohl as well was very outspoken about the whole deal. He was quite positive, pro Napster, but I just a part of me feels like a lot of people got caught up in the wave, as opposed to taking a back step and actually thinking critically.
So the other big one
I fall somewhere in the middle with this whole thing. I'm not either, but I'm somewhere in the middle, I think.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like I said, the other big one I found who were very pro Napster was the Offspring.
Okay.
Now apparently Napster sued the Offspring.
Really?
So Pretty Fly for a White Guy was downloaded 22 million times off of Napster.
Okay.
And Dexter reckons that contributed a fucking hell of a lot to, I think it was 8 million Americanas. Like it bumped it up.
I think it's 8 or 9 million copies that sold at one point. Yeah.
I think it was sitting at, I don't know, like 5 or 6. And then when Napster hit and everybody started downloading, their album sales got a bump.
Yeah.
So they started selling unauthorized merch with the Napster logo on it.
Really? Oh no! Oh god! Yes, right. No, I do remember this now.
So Napster issued a cease and desist, like was going to sue them, and they came to an agreement where they could sell the merch, but the proceeds would go to charity.
Okay. You know what? Coming at them for that, I know. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But because
Oh
apparently
no,
what was the next one after America? Was it uh
it was Conspiracy one, wasn't it?
Conspiracy
That one.
One? The Offspring had planned to release that as a free album on the website on their website,
I vaguely remember
and
this now.
the record company put a stop to it.
Mm-hmm. You know what's like? It's ironic about Napster suing Offspring, saying, "Oh, you didn't have the permission to
Yeah,
use it. I just like you didn't have permission to have all this music on your
yeah.
peer to peer." So
That's
if
that's
you
that's the
know,
thing.
it's you know when someone becomes big enough, that's when the roles start to
Yeah,
switch. Oh, like we're actually a thing now, so we now have to, yeah, just in the same way that all these bands came at you, like, yeah, now you know what it feels like a little bit to be like, I never told you that you could do that.
yeah.
That's interesting.
So like that's one of the things that Lars brings up when he's doing this commission judiciary hearing. He
Mhm,
reads a bit off the bottom of Napster's web page, where it's like it's
mhm.
getting the legal stuff at the bottom. This is any you can't reproduce the Napster logo or any contents within the web. Kind of basically
Yeah,
legal
yeah, yeah,
jargon.
yeah,
They
yeah.
can't copy it when that's exactly what they're doing with anyone else.
It's just,
Mental.
yeah, no, the irony is not lost, is it?
Yeah.
Fuck's
Uh,
sake.
so like the other side note you're on about like roles being reversed.
Mhm,
So this is probably like the where we get like normal before then, like anybody at Deep Computers is getting at that point just nerdy guys in their
yeah,
basements,
yeah.
nerdy white
Oh
guys.
no, yeah, no, weird outcast, like the person in the teen movie who like no
Aye.
one's friends with. Yeah,
So
yeah,
this is kind of like the rise of the fucking don't know it was fucking somebody else that it termed it. I saw it was tech bro.
yeah. Tech bro, it became cool. It became like, oh shit, there's money to be
Yeah,
made in this. Like,
I
like
say
we're
like
changing the world.
hackers
We're
and
changing
shit.
the world. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, like
But
all those the
but like
hacker
before
movie. Yeah,
then,
like,
what was it? What was the one? What was fucking? Was it? Uh, what was that map? Was it when they launched Windows or something? And mind there's all the
mm,
fucking Bill Gates and all these fucking pals dancing about on stage.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you've gone through that to the guys who run Napster.
It was like, and again, it's like it's with the
Complete
tech bro.
180.
It was like the tech guys became rock stars. Then the rock stars were coming at the tech guys.
Aye.
Yeah, I know.
It's
It was like
yeah.
they became the rock stars because they did this fucking cool new technology, and
Aye.
people can get music
Here's
whenever they want. They're like, oh, it's amazing. That's funny. That's funny.
so excuse me. Um so we should probably get into like the downfall of Napster, the eventual downfall. So um there's three main things that kind of contributed to it. One was just the sheer volume of fucking downloads there was.
Hmm.
Like obviously they tried to use the defense of the VCR thing, the Sony versus Universal. It's like, well, that's kind of 1-to-1 ratio. Like, here's a guy who downloaded one episode of the show to watch later, and here's all these folk. There's literally folk with like hundreds of songs that's
Yeah.
downloaded for free.
It's
Like,
near it's near like Teddy wanted to record an episode of Cheers to watch later on because he's late in from his work tonight.
aye,
It's nearly the same as like and here's in 24 hours there was 1.4 million downloads of one band's catalog. It's like
aye.
it's not the fucking same thing. It's just not the same. It's just no.
um,
Why?
so the second one is they had this invention of the search index they had, which like
Mm,
it basically catalogued everything that was on the site. So
mm,
essentially that they're enabling their users knowingly to download copyrighted music for free.
yeah.
However, it's the third one that fucking blew me. So there was an internal fucking email in Napster that one of the boys, the Sean Parker, sent. Now I'll read it word for word. It says,
Okay. Okay.
I quote, this is what he wrote in an internal email.
Right.
We are not just making pirated music available, but also pushing demand. It's like,
Pushing demand.
yeah. So essentially, he's just directly acknowledging he's just pirating.
Yeah. Again, ultimately, it comes down to this isn't your music. It doesn't belong to you. You could have went down the route of asking for permission, but you knew most folk would say no, so you
Yeah.
did it anyway. It was never. It was regardless of how well the idea was conceived. See, it could have been an underground thing, but then what's the point? You want it to be successful, but
Aye.
then when you become successful, everyone becomes aware of you,
Aye, you
so
become
it's
a
not going
target.
to last. These kind of things that you're not meant to be doing can't become mainstream and last because you're not meant to be doing it. The things now that's why there's a dark web for the shit like that. Obviously, this isn't dark web stuff, and I haven't been
This
in the
this
dark web. I
this is
don't
where
even
this Mosh
fucking know what
this is where this podcast should be.
this podcast deserves to be encased in concrete in the bottom of the ocean, right? But like, like people go in the dark web because they're doing things that you probably shouldn't be
Yeah.
doing, but this is subculture where the odds are like your granny's not going to fucking know about it. Like like your pal down the road's not going to know about it. Most people don't know what it is, but this was never going to last because it was going to blow up because the idea of free music was always going to be popular.
Yeah.
It was always going to catch on. So it was never built to last.
Just to go off on a tangent for a second. I was speaking of
Please
piracy.
do.
I meant to
Please
ask this
do.
earlier. I meant to ask this earlier. So, like I mentioned, I've never bought CDs for fucking politics. I've probably never bought DVDs and even longer. Now,
Okay.
remember those fucking ads you spent in front of fucking videos? I was like, Ken, you would you steal a car and you would you steal this or that, and
Yeah.
then do they
Yes.
still put
Yeah.
that in the
Yeah.
front of the DVDs?
No, I haven't. Well, one. I mean, like, like you say DVDs, but you make that distinction because you never really. I can't remember seeing a piracy thing on a Blu-ray,
Hmm.
but I remember them being on DVDs,
Yeah.
and so it's like that's interesting. Yeah, like it was very prevalent on DVDs. Maybe like yeah, it's in Blu-rays. I know often I'll put on a Blu-ray and then I'll go for a piss. Because the time I come back, it's going to be on the menu screen. There's stuff to rattle through. So maybe I'm missing it.
Yeah.
But you saying that advert, I saw that advert so much I can see
Everyone
it in my
remembers that.
fucking head. Everyone remembers it, and
And
you don't see
I
it
don't know if it's
anymore.
an
You don't see it.
I don't know if it's an urban myth but I remember reading somewhere that the music they use for that they ripped it off of somebody else. Like it's copyrighted music and they've used it with your permission.
What is fucking wrong with everyone? It's like everyone's hypocrites. I'll tell you what. Actually, now thinking about it, I'll tell you what you get now. Like you don't get like an advert, but you get, like you get the FBI style thing where it's like, and it says like any unauthorized copyright
Yeah.
or like private show. Basically,
Yeah.
basically, if you had a film and you owned a pub and you say, right, I'm not showing the football tonight. I'm going to put on Predator instead.
Yeah.
Like and and the chances are no one in a high place will ever find out. But you're not meant to do it
Aye.
because it's not being copyright state. It's like, well, this is meant for your private, your personal
Yeah.
use. It's not intended for like like to show all your mates. So instead of getting the fancy advert, you just get like
Just that
like
black
a
screen with it. Yeah.
menu. Just like a message, like a title, no, like
Yeah.
a title message, just got like text on it, and so you get that, and it's in a federal thing, and then like you get fined. So yeah, you do get it still, but you don't get the advert. You just get the
Yeah,
text.
they have a
So it's still there. So it's bullshit. It's not as
yeah.
good.
I,
Although fuck DVDs, I'm a snob now. So fuck
I,
it.
I might find that fucking thing on YouTube and put a link in the fucking description for this.
Yeah, you should. You should. I can see it in my head.
Yeah,
And like, you wouldn't start steal a car, and yeah.
yeah,
And the person's at their laptop, and it looks like it downloads the way to complete, and then they cancel it, and then they leave, grab the keys, and leave. Yeah. Remember that?
yeah.
Remember that? That was that screams of 2000, does it?
Aye,
It
that just.
screams of 2000. Do you remember the old VHS tapes, and you got the guy who actually gave you the warning about this film is rated 15, which means
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
suitable for, like, I miss that shit. We need to bring that back. Obviously, that guy's dead now, unfortunately. Oh,
I can remember. I remember buying VCRs that still had fucking adverts in front of them, like trailers for their
oh yeah,
films.
oh yeah. Well, and like no DVDs had that for a while, and when DVD became a lot, like DVD still being made, but Blu-ray became popular. Then Blu-rays initially, when they first became popular, they still had the adverts, but now they're less and less common. But yeah, like trailers, yeah, just
In
trailers and
fact,
shit.
I remember Suburban Commando, the VCR had
Okay.
it had Think Big and Mac and Me trailers on the front end of it.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
most
no, it's funny. The idea of the copyright piracy advert having
pirated
illegally
music.
obtained music is fucking brilliant. That's so good. Everyone is like everyone's just, they're all a bunch of shite arses. They're all shite arses. All of them. All of them. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Um so March 2001 there's a preliminary injunction.
That is such a hard word to say.
Yeah. Essentially it's near it's
Preliminary.
aye, that one.
There you go.
If it's
That
near a
one. That one.
verdict, it's essentially if you've got two kids fighting, like you don't want to sort, you just like just stop it now. I don't care. I don't care who's to blame for now, but
Yeah.
just stop it.
It's like you go to your room, you go outside,
Yeah.
just separate and shut the fuck up.
So Napster are given 72 hours to remove Metallica off the server and prevent further trading of copyright material. Um, so that goes on for a few months until July, where they settle with Metallica for an undisclosed amount in Dr. Ray. Now, this is the bit I didn't know.
Yeah.
So apparently they settled with Metallica and Dr. Ray because they thought they were going to get some money.
Yeah, I heard about this, and then they got nothing.
So BMG was part of the RIAA lawsuit. So they dropped out with the intention of buying Napster for £94 million, $94 million dollars, and making it like a paid service. So obviously they thought they were getting 94 million, so they settled with Metallica and Dr. Ray. However, a judge later concluded that he blocked it on a conflict of interest because the CEO at Napster was also an executive at BMG.
Yes, I heard about this.
So that
Oh god, how sick would you be? Like, oh, you think you're gonna get 94 million, and they say you have a conflict of interest. It's like, oh, I heard that, and I kind of felt sorry for them. It's like, ah, it's rough. That's so rough.
So essentially, they're shut down because they couldn't comply with the court order to track users' activities and restrict access to infringing material. So basically, they're basically the website didn't disappear, but everything was taken off, and it was just when you clicked on it, it was a black screen. It says Napster was here.
Yeah, I remember it was still up, but it was just a shell, was it, at that point?
Aye.
Just an empty shell.
You could download I remember for a while you could download classical music or educational stuff or like 90 fucking million fucking versions of the national anthem, because that's obviously there's like free, don't know what it's called, like free reign of them, kind of copyrights expired on them.
Stuff that was public domain.
Public domain, that's the word I was looking for.
It's public domain are also stuff where almost like a statute of limitations, where it's like, it runs for so long, and then we get to a point where anyone can
Yeah.
music, which is why we get weird reboots and like TV shows and stuff. Because like, well, anyone can make this. That's why we get like a million Amityville horror films because well, Amityville's public domain because it's a place.
Aye.
Like so anyone can take the name of an established franchise in that case and use it. So yeah, it was just wide open, wide open.
So that happens in July. September, they settled with the RIA, which was fucking crazy. Like they wanted, I think it was 20 billion they sued them for. RIA. They were sued for £20 billion, $20 billion.
20 billion.
Billion.
Ah,
Sure, it was billion. Like 20 million sounded the
surely
same.
not. Surely not.
Well, they settled for 26 million, which makes me
Okay.
think that maybe it was billion because they wouldn't settle for more than.
Yeah, and then yeah, of course, yeah. But 20 billion is like, okay, wind your neck in.
Yeah. So they settled for 26 million for past unauthorized use of music, plus 10 million for future licensing royalties. And on top of this, there was another fucking 230,000 users banned for using the site, which was fucking at that point was inoperable anyway, which made
Yeah.
absolutely no difference.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. I mean,
So
there's
because of
nothing up there worth having.
all these payouts and like the financial drain of legal battles, and basically they couldn't make any more money because they couldn't do anything with the website. They filed for bankruptcy in 2002. So like we're saying, like essentially 3 years and they're gone.
They started out hot and then burnt out and then blazed.
Yeah.
It was like an extreme high and extreme low, and in between it was just like some good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so like the aftermath of this, so obviously we get some copycat things pop up. So we've got like the LimeWire and Kazaa, like we mentioned earlier.
Well, I
However,
was all over those two. I was all over those two.
they're allowed to survive a bit longer because they don't have a centralized server.
Yeah.
That is truly just peer to peer. There's nothing in the middle. It's just that's all it is. I mean, it's ultimately they're all shut down as well. Eventually, like it just takes a while for the legislation to catch up with the technology.
I remember using those
Yeah,
two for a decent little amount of time there.
I think that's
Because
what I finally killed off my computer.
oh yeah, easy. I mean, I just missed out. I missed out on Napster. Oh, like I knew what it was, but I didn't actually use
Yeah.
Napster. But LimeWire came at the sweet spot, so I'm just like, oh, okay, here we go. And just like looking for like, yeah, not looking for albums that like I'm not looking for albums that I can get a hold of. I'm looking for here's the live versions, here's the B side,
Bootlegs.
here's the weird fucking bootlegs. That's what I was looking for. So, and again, like the difference between a popular album having all these cedars and then like a really weird B side, and there's one person who probably lives in like I don't know, like Milwaukee or some shit. And then maybe something's happened. He's got in a car crash and he's fucking dead. And it's like, oh man, I'm not gonna get this live version of this song now. And this guy's disappeared, or he's went on holiday, or someone's kidnapped him. But like he's left his computer running, and eventually it's just shut down. And it's like I'm never gonna get this song now.
Yeah.
What a time that was. It was just.
I remember like
Yeah.
trying to download Fear of the Dark, like just the track, not the album, just the track,
Yeah.
7 minute track on dial up, and legit taking like fucking like 9 hours.
Ugh. And that's not bad.
Aye, that was alright for dial up.
That's okay. I mean,
I
I had dial up there for a while, and it was just snail's pace.
Yeah.
Like turn it down. Like I would make the rookie mistake of like having like 4 albums going at the same time.
And just slow it right down.
And then realizing, oh right, so maybe I'll just try a song. Maybe like a day. It's like, right, I'll get this first album, but it's gonna take my fortnight. Just sitting there, just gonna get like like Killers. I'll download Killers. Like,
But I remember one of the pals. It wasn't a broadband. It was like I don't know what it was. It was like some sort of box that made the internet faster. But I'm not technical in this fucking sort of sense. So I don't know what the fuck it was. Like it's
I
obviously it's
vaguely
also
remember like you could get like an add-on to help.
aye,
Yeah.
like it was like pre-broadband, but it was like oh I can download a song in like an hour now. It's like you look back now, it's like an hour for a song. You could literally
It would be like opening up YouTube to watch something and like coming back in an hour and it's ready for you. You would
yeah.
just be like, and again, because we didn't know any better, we were happy that we had this service. But now, could you imagine now people who have never grown up in a, I guess obviously we grew up in an era without the internet, but now people who have grown up with nothing but good internet connections
Yeah.
and now assume that this is normal. You know, this is a luxury. This isn't actually normal. I mean, you could get by without it. So, no, like telling them, oh, it took us an hour to get that song.
I'm
So
back.
where were we? Where were we? We're
Um,
back. It's almost like we never left.
yeah.
People will listen to this. One person that watches the videos for some reason will watch it. And it's like they never left. It was seamless.
So,
Perfect.
aye. So we're speaking about kids saying it's so good today.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
so I was going to say, I used to explain this to my kids, like named like a while ago. So I had a Commodore 60. The Commodore 64 was my first computer,
Hmm.
like tape loaded. So you'd put tape in and like literally wait like half an hour for it to load up.
Yes.
And I was to explain this to them, no, you didn't just put the fucking thing in and it was there. You had to wait for it to fucking load.
And sometimes it didn't work.
Sometimes it didn't.
There was no guarantee that you would get it. You sit for 3 minutes with and it would stop. Then it'd be blank. And then you'd be, come on. And then just as it was a way to complete loading, it would it would really intensify a little bit. I picked up this has nothing to do. Well, it's all on topic. So this is no longer Lars versus Napster. It's a documentary called from billions, no, from bedrooms to billions, and it's about like old school like Spectrum, Commodore,
Aye.
Amstrad, just the game programming and stuff. And it's like I actually think you'd like it. It was really good. It lost me at the end because you started talking about modern stuff, and it's like, nah, I didn't buy you for this. I bought you for the nostalgia. And then there's all these like people, like all these programmers, popping up. I recognize them all by name just from reading the magazines, and
Aye.
I didn't realize how much I'd retained from that period of my life. And it's oh fuck, he did Manic
Aye.
Miner. Oh shit, yeah, that's a
Especially back
that's a guy
then,
who
like
did it.
it was like a list of fucking like getting like now you complete a game, you get like a fucking half an hour fucking screen with these names for it. It was literally just
Yeah,
one guy in his bedroom.
the one guy in his bedroom because now video games have got credits like movies.
Aye.
There's so much people working them because they're like movies now. So this, like, actually, I think you would get a kick out of this
Yeah.
documentary. It was so good. It just like that kind of nostalgia. It just hit, and they've done like a bunch. They did one for Amiga and one for just for Commodore. I think I'm going to end up buying them all. To be honest with you, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm itchy now. Like
I've,
it's good.
I've
It's
written it
good.
down. I'll come back to that.
Yeah, it's. I'll try to remember the name of the company now. Oh, because they're only on Facebook. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. But
Aye.
they've got some really good stuff, and it's like, yeah, I think I'm going to end up buying them all now just to have them all. Because my OCD won't allow. It's like, well, they're sitting on the shelf and it's looking kind of lonely, so maybe he wants his
Yeah.
pals with him. Yeah.
Aye. Can't just take
But
one.
yeah, but no, sorry, but it goes back to what you're saying about we would persevere, would wait because that's all we had. We would hire a game, or rent a game from Blockbuster, and it
Aye.
was shite. But you had it for the weekend, and that's what you had, and you made the best of it. Like
Aye.
like I rented Wayne's World for the SNES. It's not good,
It's
but god damn it, I paid £3 for that, and I
but play the
played it the whole
shoot.
weekend because that's what I had. I couldn't just go because now I've got like no like the emulator gimmick. I've
Aye.
got 10,000. I've got 10,000 games over 10 platforms and that. It's, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting there for the weekend playing Wayne's World because that's what I got,
Funnily
and I
enough,
was happy, and I
I,
was happy.
I genuinely I had an afternoon. or a morning about a couple of weeks ago. The kids were at school, and then today, I fired up the Xbox, and I'm like, I've got all these games I could play. Stuck with Streets of Rage 2.
Yes.
So I'm getting complete Streets of Rage 2 again for like the fucking I
Mhm.
think in like January must be triple figures now.
I was like that with Mario Kart. It's like I've got all these games. I'll play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Easier.
But yeah, anyway, so the aftermath of of uh, of Napster, it's time for it. So essentially, this one in the like 4,000 record stores closed in the US, like in the 10 years after Napster fucking shut down.
Mm.
So like genuinely CD sales, like physical sales were just on the fucking downturn.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, like you're going for the top selling album of 95 selling 12 million copies in a year to now you've got the biggest one being 3.5.
Yeah. I even think now, because music's so readily available digitally, I even obviously 3 million isn't a lot, but it's actually more than I thought it would be, just
Aye.
because you don't, because like we had, like, the only way we could listen to the music that we wanted to listen to at our own leisure was to physically own it.
Yeah.
You had to buy it. I mean, you obviously know you could turn on MTV and maybe see a music video for that, but yeah, but I couldn't then, because now we can, like, rewind television as it's playing now. We can go back if you have Sky. Even though we couldn't do that back then. So
No.
literally we had to physically have, and physically have, it's like, physically having something. That's what I'm like with movies and documentaries and stuff, and I don't do it with music because I don't have the space. But physically having something in your hand, is so much more satisfying
Aye.
than having it in the cloud somewhere. And again, with film, especially with films and stuff, oh, it's on streaming. Yeah, but one day I'll go to watch it and it won't be there, or I'll need to buy it. But I've got to sit in the shelf right there, and it isn't getting any better than that. Like, I've got it. I actually own that, because even when you buy a film on Prime, you don't own it
No.
because they could just take it down
Yeah, it's gone.
and it's
It's
fucking gone.
it's
So
like I didn't buy a lot of like video games these days. Like I didn't get time to play them.
yeah,
But if I do buy them, I'll buy the physical version because like well, you buy a digital thing, I was like, but then you might lose it or can like you said they could just take it off and it
yeah,
would be
yeah,
gone.
yeah,
Whereas if you've got the physical disc or fucking cartridge or whatever it is you're buying at the time, it's like you've
yeah,
got it.
yeah. Yeah, no, 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 no. There's nothing better than having some intangible in your
Yeah.
hands, and
Like I said,
you know.
this is me saying I've never bought a CD for like fucking 10 years. However, I will buy
However,
a t-shirt every time I go to a gig, at least one.
well, there you go. I mean, it's like you're still buying something, like like you went to the gig and you enjoyed the gig, and you didn't have your phone above your head the whole time
Nope.
taking pictures, because that's fucking bullshit. I'm there, so I don't want to look at it through my phone. I'm here. Fucking look at it. They're in front of you, and then you buy a shirt. You've always got something to signify that show that
Yeah.
you went to, because you physically have the item in your hand,
And I've supported the band.
and you supported
Because
the
that's
band.
that's one of the things that Lars brings up with the committee is like, well, the main two revenue streams the bands have got are album sales and touring. And now I think it's probably just touring is where they get the revenue from. Because they're getting fuck all for Spotify.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, like, someone like Metallica can survive because they're already in a very wealthy position.
Yeah.
I think Lars said it was never about the money, and I actually believed him,
Aye.
because at the money, it's like, yeah, but we're talking about pennies here. But
At the
for,
end of the day,
I mean, like,
I didn't even part of it wasn't even about the music. It was just the fact that they had music that wasn't even finished.
I think that's a big part of it. It
I
was
think
going to
that's what
start
riled
with
because uh, that was the other thing that popped up. Was like now, like obviously they didn't understand it then, but now you can, if you go to a Metallica gig, you can go on like the following day. It'll be on their website, and you can download it for
Yeah,
like £1 a song for
yeah,
whatever concert you were at.
yeah, yeah. Crazy how they've kind of like
So they've
embraced
obviously
it,
they've gotten wise to it.
but but they've embraced it, but they are controlling it because
Aye,
it's theirs,
yeah,
and I think that's reasonable. Another thing you said too as well is like it's not about the money for us because we're in a good position, but what about a band who isn't in our position and
aye,
this does affect their record sales and they need that to survive because they don't have what we have. And he's
yeah,
right.
aye,
And you know, a lot of it goes to the narrative of the Sooner fans, which is not true. No, the Metallica have got lots of enemies because anyone or anything that becomes popular will become hated by some
yeah,
subculture of people. And Lars is an easy person to dislike.
yeah. Like I said, we can poke fun at it and he'll laugh about it as much as we want, but at the end of the day, Lars was right.
Yeah, he was. And now we're seeing like, where music is readily available. And like you're saying, people aren't getting money off it because most of these streaming services pay very little.
Aye,
So he was right. It turns out that this way of getting music is not beneficial to the artist unless the artist has already got a
yeah.
significant amount of collateral behind them in the first place.
So,
He was right. You don't like
essentially,
Lars, it doesn't matter. Lars is
yeah.
right.
Essentially, what
He was
Napster
right.
did was just open a can of worms. It's like, well, here's this generation of folk who are getting music for free or next to fuck all, and they just expect it to be that way from now on.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, like, where's the line? How do you regulate it? How do you control it? If there isn't something in place to have some kind of parameters, then it does become the Wild West.
Yeah.
And it doesn't affect Metallica, it affects everyone.
That's it. It's just a case of technology advances far quicker than legislation ever will. It just takes a while
Yeah.
for the legislation to catch up with it. And
I was just thinking,
by the time it
I was
catches up, technology's moved on.
yeah, like some of like one of the things that I was listening to, and it was just like, yeah, legislation takes longer, and it's true. And there's like a small handful of people who are behind the like technology who understand what it is, and then it takes a long time for that to kind of filter
Yeah.
out to the rest of the world. Some people jump on it, some people need convincing, some people never get their head around it, some people hate it, some people fight against it. But yeah, I think like I've got my phone and I've got anything I want. Like what it said to you guys Thursday or Friday, and I'm not a Sepultura guy, but I got in the mood for Sepultura.
Aye.
Now, years ago, and I've had to buy their CDs.
Yeah.
And now I can go, oh, Chaos CD, that's fine. Boom. And then put it on and put on Territory. It's like, what a fucking banger that is, by the way. And I know it is, but I just don't listen to them. I shoot and I put it on, and I was like, and I screenshot this at you, like, fucking good. This is fucking good. Of course it's good because it's Chaos AD. Like this isn't like a revelation. It's like I've just discovered that it's good, but I just don't listen to it, and I don't know why. But now I've got Spotify, where I can just go, oh, I'm in the mood for something with Judah. Oh, bang, click. 10 seconds later, I've got their album on.
Aye.
We don't know how good we've got it. Well, actually, no, we actually do know how good we got it because we've lived through the period where it wasn't that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't recognize how good it is.
We briefly touched on the tape trading thing.
Yeah.
Well, I was never a big tape trading guy, but like obviously with like CD burners built in laptops or computers or whatever. So we did a lot of that, but the problem with that is your pals are usually in the same stuff you've got. So you don't really it's like you don't really get anything that you don't hate.
Yeah, it's like you kind of end up with the same. There's like there's not a lot of change in the musical taste.
With a Spotify, you'll be like, oh well, here's that you've listened to this. How about you listen to this?
Yeah.
Can it be right? And like I said, I since lockdown I've done a lot of gigs, like a lot. And a lot of them I probably wouldn't have gone to had I not heard stuff on Spotify.
Yeah, I think it's, and at least that's one way that to help bands is driving hopefully new fans. I mean, you get Spotify, and then you get the recommended like a concert near you.
Aye.
Well, at least it's something,
But that's the thing, it's like
rather the
even now
guys.
it's changing. Now that there's folk just get their music from like, oh, we're getting music from Instagram or TikTok. That's how
Yeah,
they find stuff. It's like it's
but again,
already
I know
moved
as
on to the
long
next
as
step.
people, but I mean, like, yeah, but I mean, it's just like the world has never been smaller because it's never been easier to connect with people or
Yeah.
see. I mean, like you can see someone who lives 10,000 miles away can post a video, and then a second later you'll see it, and the guys across the world.
Aye.
Just the way it is now. Where I said with the tape trading thing, and like the argument that people who were like against Metallica for the Napster thing were, well, you guys did tape trading back in the day. That's how people heard your songs and stuff, But they weren't anyone at that point, like they were.
What was the thing that like I heard there was a bit one of the interviews that Lars did. He said, well, they used to have a sectioned off for guys with tape recorders so they could tape the concerts.
Yeah,
Like there's no problem with them taping the concerts and passing it. Like it's that and he went
because
on.
they were the ones who were controlling it.
Aye. And it was more
It's
that
about like this guy is this person that was recording our set was given our permission because we wanted them to do it
aye.
because tape trading. And so, oh, you did this? Like, yeah, but did you live through the period where that was the only fucking way that we could do this? Yeah, but no, there was no other way to do it. And again, it's like no, the irony of those guys that know, the irony of in the eyes of some people who like here's the heavy metal guys who have became the establishment. Like like the guys who like in the denim and the like ripped jeans and the metal shirts
Yeah.
and the long hair, headbanging on stage, and now it's oh, you guys used to be this. Say yeah, but we're not that now because we're millionaires and we're married with kids and shit. You know what I mean? It's like, oh no, like, why don't you write about all this stuff now? It's because we're not as angry as we were because we're fucking loaded.
Yeah.
And it's like they can't pretend to be, yeah, because I'm not 20 years old and angry, and I'm also not sleeping in my mate's house and crashing or sleeping in a van because that's how we're getting to the next show. I'm not that person anymore because I'm 20 years older, and just this whole like romantic notion of it's like people change and people move on and stuff, and so you guys are establishment now, and it's like, well, don't steal our shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't give you that. And again, like you said, the fact that they got I disappeared, but it wasn't even fucking finished.
Aye.
And then all these radio stations played it. Whoa, 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 it's not finished. I didn't say. I totally 100% agree with that. It's like, no, fuck you. Just be like a film getting leaked. Like fucking. Here's James Gunn. He's just finished filming Supergirl. Yeah,
Aye.
is the way to get that out.
It's all green screened. It's
Yeah,
still the green screen.
the film has been filmed, but now they're into the post production
Yeah.
period, and someone's went, "Here's Supergirl," and it's like, I haven't put any of the fucking the visual effects in yet. It's just people in front of screens looking at tennis balls because that's meant to be the threat. And then it's oh, was it? No, you can't do that. It's like fuck you, absolutely, fuck off. It's like the advert. Stop! It's not ready yet. Like what
It's
you doing?
another big whoosh for a lot of.
That's another whoosh. Like no, no, no. That's your second advert whoosh for the podcast. But like someone creating something that's theirs and it's not finished yet, and then people have taken it and then shared it, and it's like fuck you.
Yeah.
I'd be fucking pissed as well.
Every right to be angry.
No, 100%. I think there's valid points on both sides, but in the grand scheme of things, Lars was right.
Yeah.
Agree with him. All these people who behind closed doors agree with Metallica, but then wouldn't help them. And it's like, right, okay. I mean, And there's a little bit of resentment there from Metallica, and it's like, well, why don't you fucking give us a hand? Because Lars put his neck on the fucking line
Right.
here. It's, oh no, I can't do that because it'll hurt my image. It's like, right, okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, Napster is like, if you hadn't, if you didn't live through it, you don't know how significant a deal
Yeah.
it was to have the capability to. God, I really fancy listening to so and so. Oh, I could just. Oh,
Yeah.
it's there. But
Essentially,
then you go,
you've
no, I
got what
wonder
you've
what
got
else you
now
paid.
because of that fucking 2-3 year period. That's essentially
Hundred,
what it
yeah.
boils down to.
For me, again, I think we would have gotten some version of what we have now, just because it would have gotten there eventually.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have gotten there as quick. I don't think it would be what it is today. I don't think it'd be as good as it was today, but I think we'd have some. Obviously, they have some version of music being available digitally. But I don't. But no, like without that 3 year period of where they went up and just crashing, like they fucking, it was it was incredible, and then it was spectacular, and then it was absolutely disastrous in a very short
Yeah.
period of time. But without that, I don't think we don't have it as good as we have it now to this extent without Napster. Without the two Seans having this
Yeah.
wacky idea.
In fact, I did look it up.
And
Yeah,
chess, and his uncle playing chess.
I don't know played it, but I
His
did
uncle
look.
playing chess.
I did look it up about because obviously the name kind of still exists, the IP or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
So somebody bought it. The name,
really.
like the right thing that I'll double check. I can't remember who it was. Um, it was bought March this year by Infinite Reality, a metaverse company focused on immersive 3D experiences. So essentially, I think they're trying to do the goal is to build 3D interactive music platform where fans can attend virtual concerts.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're like to screen like concerts and then I don't know how it works, but yeah. So they just bought Napster in March for $207 million.
How would it
So
cost so much
they're
now?
still worth in it.
But I don't understand how it would be worth so much now after being so inactive.
But that's like it's not been in it. Like it was shut down, but then the name it's been through like I don't know. I looked it up and there's been a few different buyers of it. Like folk have bought it and tried to make it like a legit paid service or whatever. And obviously it isn't taken off because they were behind. Like iTunes came out
Yeah.
and they were kind of behind
It was,
that, and then
it was like
Spotify.
it's like iTunes came out as almost a way to it was like the PG version, was it? It was like, okay, we're gonna do this right.
Yeah, they just kind of
You know,
legitimized that is what they did.
yeah, it was like the All American volume music sharing after us because we're not going to take the fucking piss. Um, I just can't see how Napster would be worth so much after so many failed attempts to make it a thing, and it not. I'm actually going to look into that because I'm interested by that, like how that's even a thing, because that's
Yeah,
such a large
like
amount of money.
I didn't really look too far into it. I just googled it to see what had happened to it because I knew it was still going to be it was still a thing. Like it had been sold through a couple of different folk, but yeah, 207 million it was just sold for. Wild.
That does not compute with me why it would even
Yeah.
attract that much money, but. Yeah, 2025 and Napster still a
Yeah.
thing.
It's made I come back like a 2-3 year run.
Yeah, it comes back and just fails spectacularly, and then we'll do a follow-up podcast and we'll
Yeah.
talk about it, and it'll be good times.
But yeah,
So
I think we can wrap that up.
Lars versus Napster.
Yeah.
We had a Martin Free podcast. You did a bunch of notes. It was bizarre,
Yeah.
but it was good.
Join us next time where we'll be back to the usual bullshit.
Join next time. We'll be trying to get Caleb on. He won't be able to manage.
Probably an Iron Maiden episode.
Yeah, probably Iron Maiden. Blue Thunder's laptop will conk out, and so will yours. It'll just be me, Martin, me and Martin waiting for you to show up, and that'll be the pod for an hour and a half.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I've got some ideas in a notepad somewhere, not this notepad. So we will try and set something else up. Because after this one, I've got nothing else in the back pocket.
You said one that was really good, but we didn't have time to do it right.
Yeah, I will come back to that one.
Pantera Base. Remember the Pantera Base
Yeah,
one?
yeah, we'll come back to that. That's a good one. That'll need
Yeah.
some research though.
I couldn't. I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't have the energy this week to commit to that. I'll just be honest. It's like you're both just like, nah, we'll save that.
Yeah, that's a good one. We'll come back to that.
That is a good one. No, we'll do that one next. We'll think about that next.
But yeah, we'll reconvene. Maybe Martin, maybe no. I don't know. We'll see how this one goes. See what the numbers are on this one.
Well, the numbers. I mean, come on, man. I mean, come on.
If
you add a hashtag idisappear.mp3, it may get some traction. It's put in LimeWire because our just old house like, oh, I remember LimeWire. But
yeah. So thanks to my guest, our co-host, Scotty Swift, for joining me for this one.
Thank you.
And we shall catch you on the next Mosh Pit.
Bye-bye.
As soon as I find the record button, because it's been hidden underneath that again, as usual.
You've lit up. You were illuminated like Jesus there.
Yeah.